so that's all we got.
That's it.
That's it for Old World? No. Why did you do this? And I bet you there's not going to be anything else for Warhammer, or not Warhammer, for the Horus Heresy. I bet the box set is going to be something completely different.
Yeah.
I'm only joking. We've got another preview for you guys. So this is
don't do that
I
to
think
me.
is probably I'm going to say the most exciting thing for today. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
This is the thing that you might have spotted some teasers on for social media in the last couple of hours. So yeah, let's take it away and have a look at our last preview of the day.
What's going on? Fight legendary battles. Oh no. On a new scale. It's Armageddon scale. Neat, but not what I was hoping. Teeny tiny models. Deploying this year. Find out more. All new scale. It's not really new since they've done it before, but...
So, Warhammer, the Horus Heresy, Legions Imperialis, battle on a new scale. This is a brand new game at an epic scale, set in the Horus Heresy era, that will be launching fairly soon with a glorious new box set. And what you can see on the screen right now is the contents of that launch box for the brand new game. This is a really, really exciting thing. This is something we haven't really done as Games Workshop for a very long time.
That is true. So that is
obviously we've seen epic scale stuff before in the shape of Adeptus Titanicus and Aeronautica, but what we've got now is the ability to fully recreate the grand battles, the epic scale battles of the Horus Heresy, with entire armies of tanks and troops and infantry, backed up with titans and aircraft and all sorts of stuff. So. This is the box set. Alex, anything you want to tell us about what's going on here?
We've got an incredible mixture here. So essentially, these are two armies that can face off, or...
Hold, please, because I think I might have missed some... Okay, no, I didn't miss any chats. It said I got disconnected from chat, and I did not realize that. Hello, and welcome to the stream. Sorry for stopping the stream there for a bit. Let's go back into it.
You could maybe get the box yourself and combine them together, because say most of the expeditionary forces that were part of the nascent Imperium, they had a combination of say Titans, of Imperial Army elements, of the Solar Auxilia, and of the Legions themselves. So there's no reason not to take all of these as one massive force.
Yeah, so what we've got in the box, you can see there's plenty of Space Marines there. They are painted up in Death Guard colours. The warriors in red and grey are Solar Auxilia, and you've got some Titans at the back there. And the way that Legions Imperialis works is that you take armies in detachments, basically. So you put those Space Marines together into a detachment force. Maybe you take the Space Marine tanks together, and then you can have them fighting alongside troops from the Solar Auxilia and from the Titan Legions, also from Knight Households, that sort of stuff. So as you say, Alex, if you want to, you can get this box and you can go Space Marines on one side, Solar Auxilia on the other side, and you can fight it, or you can put it all together and form the start of a much larger Legions Imperialis army, which you can then bolt onto all sorts of other stuff. It won't just be this box. There are loads and loads of things on their way for Legions Imperialis, to the point where you will be able to play almost anything you can imagine that's part of the Horus Heresy. Will be getting something for Legions Imperialis at some point.
So these guys...
I wonder if they're not going to be making much more for the Horus Heresy besides Knights and stuff, because that is the feeling that I'm getting. My gut feeling.
Whilst they're painted as Death Guard, they're not Legion specific. So say you wanted to play Salamanders, for instance,
yep,
you could do.
Absolutely. So this is the box set itself. Legions Imperialis, epic battles in the Age of Darkness. Also comes with the things you need to play in there as well. So you've got the rule book, and you've got those two armies, and that will launch alongside a whole range of other great things that we're able to use to play the game. So let's have a look at some of these models in detail. We've really zoomed in on these. These models are very, very small. To give you a sense of the scale on these, if you have seen the Titanicus miniatures or the Aeronautica miniatures, these are in the same scale as those. So we're going to start referring to this as epic scale. They are not quite the same size as the epic models that you might remember from 20, 30 years ago, which tended to have a fairly inconsistent size.
Yes.
They are sized.
I wonder if these guys are already like one model that you just cut out and paint. Because if you have to put these guys together, that's probably going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt with how small they are.
Exactly in proportion to the Titans and aircraft that you've already seen in ratio to their size in the Horus Heresy game. So they stand pretty much bob on about 1/4 the height of their Horus Heresy Age of Darkness equivalents.
Fantastic.
So the scale is worth noting, but it does mean that you can have enormous great armies. So some models on screen there. We've just seen some
Tactical legionaries.
The command squads. These are the tactical legionaries, and you get a sense there about how detailed some of these miniatures are. They are.
Yes.
You can work out what the models are, which is probably more than you could say maybe for some of the really classic epic ones. But you can see even down to like the
that's it. Single eye lenses to single rivets. It's incredible what the manufacturing allows them to do
now. Even the chainsaws on the bolt guns there.
That's it.
You can see
each individual tooth.
The bases as well are a little bit thinner than you get for other war games that we make for Warhammer, and that's because basically they just look better when they're out there on the battlefield. So really, really cool. They got some assault marines there as well. You can see all the different weaponry and stuff posed.
Those are supposed to be coming to Horus Heresy.
So I think if you're looking at these now, obviously these are quite zoomed in. I would recommend, if you are interested in Legions Imperialis, once you start to see these kind of pop up in stores and things, really get hold of them and have a really close look, because they are a wonder to behold. The level of detail on these is crazy.
That's it. I did think maybe we should grab a box and show it off on the turntable, but you wouldn't be able to see them.
Not really. Here you go, some support legionaries there. So these ones have plasma weapons. I don't know who did the highlighting on those plasma coils, but well done, whoever that was. Incredible stuff. So lots of different unit choices within this box. You got some Terminators in there too, Cataphracti Terminators. And then you get some Dreadnoughts. So the Dreadnoughts in Legions Imperialis stand a little bit shorter than a Space Marine in Warhammer 40,000. They are quite imposing, obviously compared to the infantry, but in a game that has Titans and Knights and all sorts of stuff, your Contemptor Dreadnoughts feel quite sort of small, but still very, very cool, fun models, and even some options in there as well. So you've got las cannons versus assault cannons, all sorts of different ways you can paint these up. There's some tanks in there too. You've got loads of really cool different choices. So they've got some Sakaran battle tanks. The tanks are particularly impressive, I think.
Yes, because they've got the same amount of detail. They're just size smaller. So, if you have a hard time painting tanks, this is going to be the same, but smaller, so it'll be easier.
If you've painted up any of the Aeronautica miniatures or the Titanicus miniatures, you'll get a sense of the scale of the things like the rivets and the sizes on some of these, the level of detail, and they're the same kind of level of fidelity and kind of perfection.
People are going to take these tanks and turn them into grot tanks. I'm just saying.
Perfection, I guess, as you see on those. These ones are painted up in Death Guard. Obviously, you can paint them up whatever colours you want. Some other little options there on the Predators. You've even got little guys poking their heads out the top of the tanks to kind of represent maybe commanders in the detachment, that sort of thing. Really, really cool looking miniatures. And then the other half of the box, the Solar Auxilia. So Solar Auxilia, for those of you not super familiar with the Horus Heresy, these are the human troops, the Auxilia that have been attached to the Space Marine legions to give them some backup. They're human warriors. By human standards, they're relatively elite, but they're not anything like the same level of Space Marines. They do have pretty good kit, so kind of like carapace level armor. They've got
I'm sorry, it just looks like that guy's face is entirely painted green, and then there's somebody painted some little sunglasses on him. It's probably not what that is, but that's what it looks like from here.
Kind of las based weaponry, some extra kind of special weapons and stuff like that. And vast numbers of them were raised from the solar system, which is where like a Solar Auxilia comes from, and spread out across the galaxy. But those ones that were with the traitor legions when they turned, quite a large proportion of those went traitor alongside their attached Space Marine legions, so they now fight on both sides of the Horus Heresy.
That's it. It was about a fifth of all the army elements were made up of Solar Auxilia, and 2/3 of them were stationed on various worlds and garrisons and that kind of thing. So obviously when Horus set up the heresy, as it were, he ensured quite a few of them were going to come with him at the same time.
Yeah, so
Fodder,
really nice
meat
miniatures
shields.
there, level of detail. You got some flamers as well, so you got some flame sections.
What is this?
Great at kind of
Is
getting
that a
rid of enemy
flamer?
infantry. And you've got some shock troops. I think these might be my favourite of the Solar Auxilia, just because the concept of not only
Is
do
that
you
an
have to fight a
axe?
space marine, we're not even going to give you a gun. So we're just going to give you an axe and a pat on the back, and it's quite a good axe. You need quite good armour, but fundamentally they're still asking you to do quite a big job for just a human with a hatchet.
I say it's one of those things. So these guys are like the elite of the elite. So they would often act as sort of bodyguards, or as I say, shock troops, and particularly sort of in the enclosed spaces of bunkers or ships. You know, having a power axe is a big advantage. But as you said, suddenly you're on this vast battlefield against space marines, and it's probably not going to go your way.
Yeah,
No,
but
you
there's
gotta
certainly a place for them, and
cannon
against
burner
other
against the
Solar
tank.
Auxilia, they hold their own very
yeah.
well up close. We've got something
Look
we
at
haven't
these.
seen before. We've
Ooh.
got some heavy Sentinels for the Solar Auxilia. So these are forerunners, I suppose, of the Sentinels that you know of in Warhammer 40,000, and these are heavier, better armored, better armed Sentinels. They've got multi
Are we going to get full-size versions of those? I hope so.
lasers and kind of multiple rocket launchers on the back there, and they give you some fire support basically for your Solar Auxilia troops.
That's it. If you're sort of in an advanced vanguard formation, an Aethon heavy sentinel is probably going to be the only real fire support you get, because it's the only thing that can keep up. So they've got a mixture of anti-armor and anti-infantry, but whilst they're not going to contend with a tank, you know, they can hold their own pretty well.
Yeah, and they can certainly put the hurt on enemy infantry. that
Oh,
sort
yes.
of thing. Yeah, very cool. Classic
More great
stuff.
tanks.
Lehman Russ battle tanks. So Lehman Russ obviously has been part of Warhammer 40,000 for a very long time, part of the lore of Warhammer, and you get a chance to have some teeny weeny ones for
That's
your Legions Imperialis forces. They have loads of different weapon options. You can see a few of them there. You've got Vanquisher, standard battle cannon. You've got las cannon, heavy bolters out the front. You've even got some pintle mounted stubbers. So loads of really nice little ways to paint these up. You'll notice, looking at these miniatures, they are Horus Heresy era versions of the Lehman Russ battle tanks. So there's some subtle differences between their, I suppose, contemporary Warhammer 40,000
They've got
equivalents.
DuckTales.
But generally speaking, for the most part, these are the Lehman Russ
same.
battle tanks
Yeah.
you know and love, and you can have whole swathes of them in your Solar Auxiliary armies if you want to.
Ooh, the Malkador. So this is sort of originally the mainstay of the Solar Auxilia. These were heavier tanks that were eventually sort of phased out a fair amount for the Lehman Russ, because it was a little bit lighter, a little bit more flexible and better to use on the battlefield. So these often got sort of relegated to strategic reserves. But obviously, as the heresy wore on, you needed to use everything at your disposal. So they all came out of storage. But they are still a formidable force on the battlefield.
Yeah, again, loads of lovely little details on these as well. So different options for
They also have the party gigs on the back for when you're thirsty.
sponsons, for commanders poking their heads out the top of them as well. So really nice little kits. And then we've got
Yes.
some Titans as well.
Titans.
So Legions Imperialis isn't just about troops and tanks. You can use miniatures that you have from your Titan Legions collection from Adeptus Titanicus. You can also, although not in this box, use some of the Horus Heresy era versions of Aeronautica planes. So if you've got stuff like Thunderhawks and that sort of thing, you can put them into your armies and use them as Legion transports. The Warhound Titans that come in the launch box for Legions Imperialis have some new weapons that we haven't seen before in plastic.
Yes.
So you have an Ursus Claw there.
Yeah.
There's some
Ooh.
melter cannon, missiles, and Volkite. Alex, do you want to tell us a bit more
That's
about
it.
some of those
So,
weapons?
Yes, so as you said, these are weapons that I believe we've shown off before, but they've always been in resin. So this new plastic kit allows you to have Ursus Claws, a Natrix Shock Lance, a Volkite Eradicator. There you can see on the right-hand side. They've got missile pods with Swarmer or Shudder missiles. And an
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
incisor pattern melter lance for when, you know, a Warhound Titan, a Scout Titan, you know, as scouty as a Titan can be, needs to take out some heavy armor. But those are not on the bases we recognise.
Yeah, so across the whole Legions Imperialis range of miniatures, you'll notice they have a brand new type of basing. The reason they've got that is basically the models are very small for the most part, so if you have a really thick base, it sort of distracts a bit from the model. So you've got nice thin bases, so the infantry doesn't look too out of place. But to make sure that your Titans match, if you want to, you can base them on brand new Titan bases, which means that they are kind of the same level as the infantry squads, so they look kind of in keeping with the rest of the army. You can absolutely keep your Titans on the bases they're currently on. If you already have Titanicus army, you can still play with them. Another thing to note about the bases, one thing that's really nice about Legions Imperialis is that it's really well supported, or will be really well supported with a terrain offer. So there will be loads of different ways to build up cities and buildings, and like create a whole kind of dystopian metropolis for your troops to fight across, and you could even blow up some of those buildings mid-game and do stuff like that. So your Titan can kind of punch a skyscraper over, sort of thing, if it's getting in the way of his firing angles.
So I do like that. I think that's really cool that you can do that. I wish there were more kind of terrain rules in 40k. Like if you blow up this building, not blow up this building, but like if you take out this vehicle, maybe it provides cover, or shooting through it, it gives you cover, or not cover, but like if you're behind it or shooting through it, you get penalties because it's a smoking, this big smoking pile of damaged stuff, or if you shoot this it blows up, or things like that. I just wish there was a little bit more things like that for narrative play. Maybe there is in 10th edition. I haven't gotten through the rule book yet, but
this is the rulebook for Horus Heresy Legions Imperialis. The rulebook will come in that launch set that we've been showing off. It will also be available separately, so if you you'd want to play Legions Imperialis but you don't necessarily want the forces in that box, you can pick it up separately, although the nature of Legions Imperialis means that you can mix in loads of different factions. So why would you not?
Indeed.
You could have a little bit of your favourite Space Marine Legion alongside whichever force you decide to go.
And that's it. Chances are, whatever force you are going to go for, you're probably going to want to include some legions or solar auxilia in it, just to kind of round it out. So, the box is a good shout anyway.
Yeah. We will have lots and lots about Legions Imperialis on the Warhammer community website over the next few weeks. It is a whole game system that we're going to tell you all about. So in terms of the nuances of the rules and how that works, we'll be able to talk about that. There's a few questions I've seen pop up in the chat that we're going to just quickly be able to address. So there's a few questions
what
there
are the
about
questions? They don't have
the
chat
scope
popped
and
up.
scale of it. So this is a Horus Heresy themed game. So it's going to be based on kind of legions and knight households and traitor legions and titans, rather than being Warhammer 40,000 base game. It is heresy focused. You will see lots and lots of stuff that is part of the Horus Heresy show up in Legions Imperialis. So if you have a favourite unit,
I bet people are asking if, and he's probably, I could be wrong, could be deflecting here, but I have a feeling they're asking if some of these models are coming in regular sizes for either Warhammer 40k or Horus Heresy.
Chances are it will probably show up at some point in the not too distant future for this game. It's going to be a very big thing for us over the next few months and years.
Yes, and as you've mentioned before, this is epic scale, so the idea is that we can recreate some of the massive battles from the Horus Heresy.
Yeah, absolutely. So like when you read about the Horus Heresy, there are some properly huge battles. So there's things like Istvan and the Siege of
Not
Terror,
Istvan.
Moloch and stuff like that. So absolutely, it's not like 20 Space Marines show up and have a fight. There are absolute legions, and the way that this game plays, we were talking a bit before this preview started. You're taking a whole chapters of Space Marines in a shooting phase.
Yeah.
So like 2 Warhound Titans march out, and you're like, that chapter there is gone. 100 Space Marines just removed in one volley, but it's okay because you brought 10,000 to the fight. So
that's it.
Cool. Well, that is Legions Imperialis, and that is our preview for today, guys. So thank you ever so much for joining us. Alex, anything you're particularly excited about from the preview today?
Whilst Legions Imperialis is amazing, Talia on that Manticore is just beautiful.
Okay, well, I'm going to choose. I'm excited about the Cruel Boys, so I'm going to buy some of those and paint them up and play.
Well, I'm going to stop the stream there. Please let me know what you were excited about. I will probably be chopping this VOD up. Not probably. We'll be chopping this VOD up over on the YouTube, so I will not have my intro in every single spot, but that's why, and they just go over I'm sorry. I can't listen to their banter anymore. It was some of their stuff that they showed was neat. Some of the stuff was cool, but most of it was just kind of a meh or a pass for me. Like, I'm not going to be getting the epic scale game. I'm not going to be getting the Age of Sigmar stuff or the Warcry stuff. I might pick up the Skaven just because I like the Skavens and I think that set might be nice to paint, but I don't know. I have to think about room and everything else when it comes to Warhammer, because, you know, I still have the Leviathan box set to paint up. I still have some other stuff I need to paint up and whatnot. So, we will see. We will see. There is one more stream that I might do. Let's just go to just chatting for a second. I don't know if I want to do the stream. Like I said, it's a 9-hour stream, and some of it really does not interests me at all. I don't know why they had to milk the 10th edition battle report over 9 hours, but they did. And they have some other battle reports from Kansas. Let's see, what is this one? It's Warhammer. Oh, I think we did that one. It's an expedition that's 3 hours. Maybe I'll do the 3-hour one. Possibly. I don't know what that is. I'll take a gander at it, see what it is, and if it's just them explaining rules and stuff, I might skip over it. Leviathan Hangout. I might do the Leviathan Hangout. I might. Let's see here. I might do that. I might not do that. Because there's only a little bit of that I really, really want to stream and show off. But I'm kind of hesitant too because of GW. I don't want them to say, no, you can't do that because we want you guys to pay for it. But I think that would be silly. Very, very silly. Let me just loop. 5 minutes.
About Leviathan for so long, Space Marines and Tyrannies, we've been playing games, painting models, and now finally everyone in the world can get there.
Yep. I'm just skipping that out. Just seeing how long this goes to. So that goes to about 40 minutes. That's not bad. Stomach. Was my stomach grumbling? Because I have not eaten yet. Hopefully my mic didn't pick that up. Yeah, they don't start playing the game till way, way later. You know what? I think I'm going to end the stream here. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dreadbread, and I will be back later. I'm going to go grab some food, eat, and have my stomach stop grumbling at me. And I will see you in a bit. I will then come back maybe in an hour or 30 minutes, and we'll stream the Leviathan thing. And then after that, I might stream something else. I might stream either the Frontline remake demo. I might go back to playing Styx. Or I might play something else. Maybe I'll go back to something I haven't finished. What's going on? I don't know. We'll just have to come back and find out. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dreadbread. Thank you all so much for coming on by. Where you can find me and everything has been pinned in the comments. And if you've not been here for the comments, then they'll be pinned in the description of the VOD below. Check out the description and stuff like that.